You know, we talk a lot about male toxicity here, but I just want to voice a grievance I have with the toxicity of women's sexual preferences in men.
It's about time someone did.
Just because a man can't operate an automobile or defend her physically or pay for dinner,
Plunge a toilet,
work a barbecue,
use a mat,
or mow the lawn due to a shoulder injury actually should not make you any less appealing to the opposite sex.
it should make you more appealing for being so open about it.
Well, tell that to Diane, because her toxicity was rampant yesterday. As she's driving me to acro yoga, we get a flat tire, so naturally I exit the car crying, running onto the highway screaming for help.
As one does.
And as I'm flailing my arms to get attention from a savior, she grabs my shirt and then tugs me off the road.
Sounds like you went through something really traumatic.
Very much so. And as I gained my composure, I began listing her broken car on Craigslist, $100 her best offer, since it's basically garbage at this point. Deanne grabs the phone out of my hand, demanding that we change the broken tire ourselves somehow.
Does she think you're some kind of magician?
No, but she did call me a poof, and at this point I'm beginning to shiver, so I merely ask if I can wear her jacket while she's jacking up the car. And that's when I witness her roll her eyes at me.
Ingrained sexism at its finest.
Yes.
And something I've experienced myself as well. A few weeks ago, there was some creaking in the apartment, and Deborah is running around the house saying, "Daniel, where did you go?" But obviously I didn't reply, because if there was an intruder, responding to her would alert them to my location hiding under the bed.
Smart move.
And after she did multiple sweeps of the apartment, it became clear it was safe, so I came out and suggested she grab us a motel for the night to ensure our safety, before leaning in for a smooch, which she waved off, stating she's not in the mood because the 2.5 hours I spent under the bed in silence was a turnoff for her.
How?
I don't know, but she made it crystal clear that we as a society still have lots of work to do.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The BOYSCAST.
Boys. The BOYSCAST Christmas is in the building. And by the way, we talked about this before. Danny tried to turn this into a Hanukkah podcast. I said, we celebrate Christmas
I
here.
had the candle costumes.
There's a
I had
war on-
menorahs everywhere.
There's a war on Christmas happening at the BOYSCAST.
Give me the hat, Johnny.
No, we had a Santa thing here. Danny came and kicked it over. He goes, we're a Hanukkah thing. Have you not seen what's going on with Netanyahu? Okay, he's getting into the festive spirit.
I love Christmas.
Yes, and by the way, you might have heard, sometimes the girls out there might tell you that they want for Christmas. If you're listening,
You to be vulnerable.
they might say you want to be vulnerable. Listen, I'm sure everyone's here. You're dating someone. You got a mom. You got some girls in your life. They're looking for presents, right?
Yep.
And they'll say things like, I want perfume. You know what I mean? Yeah. Take me somewhere. That's the kind of things they might say. Ah!
The frequency that they're speaking at.
If your name's Chris, they go, Chris.
It's a frequency that not all people can hear. Not all animals can hear anyway.
Christopher, I want you to buy me a bag.
Yeah.
Chris.
Not a fake one either, even though they can't tell the difference.
They might be coming down, seeing the presents in the closet, shaking them. Doesn't smell like a bag. That's what they might be saying. Well, we have the better present option. You got a couple days left as of this comes out. Possibly one. I can't remember.
Yeah, you have one. Yeah.
And you're going to want to buy something.
2, 3.
Like they say they want perfume, but you know what's best for them.
Soapy water.
They want $25 worth of United States bonds. Now, I just want to tell you here. So this is, and maybe we should put this on the screen because this is the type of stuff that you should be telling her, and she's gonna open it up and she goes, "Oh,
yeah."
And
they never think pragmatically,
they're
right?
not thinking
they're thinking,
pragmatically.
"I want perfume. I want a bag."
You know what?
And you go,
can
"No."
stop right there because that's what they're thinking. I want.
Yeah, I want. And you go, "No. Here's 1 year of LifeLock. You're not going to get identity thefted for the year 2024. You're welcome." Do you know what kind of inconvenience that is? Way more inconvenient than if you don't smell great.
Oh, well, here's a subscription to Norton Antivirus. That's such a good present.
Yeah.
I got you a 1 year subscription to. Okay, well, listen to this. This is the 30. And you need to say to them, I don't think you're understanding. This is the 30-year residual maturity, 4.029%, and then say something like, "Bam."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know historically how high that is?
And then you want to talk about the coupon rates. 151.19. That's on a 30-year.
Yeah. Ooh.
And if you get her a 20-year, it's
20 year, yeah. I mean, you're not going to get any see your money back for 20 years.
You know what you do?
You're going to have to take my word for it that I even bought it, but
you give her a gift. You give her a 20-year bond with a you get her a 30-year bond with a 4.029 yield, right? And then she comes out and she goes, "Is this some kind of joke?" You're like, "I was just kidding. I got you the 20-year." I'm just messing with you.
I'm just joshing. You'll be able to collect this a little sooner, baby.
I'm just messing with you.
Right around the time retirement rolls around.
I got you the 20-year. I'm just messing with you. 1 year subscription to the Bloomberg terminal. Off-brand version.
Off-brand version, yeah. You know how expensive a Bloomberg terminal is?
Yeah, she goes,
it's like 20 grand a year.
She goes, "Yeah, I got you the Bloomberg terminal." And she goes, "Is that a joke?" Obviously. I mean, that's very expensive.
Yeah.
I got you the 1 year subscription. What's the one? It's just like stockcharts.com.
Yeah, just like some low rent version of it.
Better portfolio managing. Monitor and analyze your portfolios like never before.
Oh.
She goes, "Well, yeah, I haven't done it before, so anything will be never before."
We can get you
By
into
saving
it.
and organizing charts, you're watching in custom chart lists. Plus, access everything from your devices to make managing your investments a breeze. So how about that?
I got my girl for Hanukkah a bound version of every Berkshire Hathaway annual letter in just one concise little binder, so she can read every one of Warren Buffett's
Before you go to bed.
Before you go to bed. I mean, that's as good as money right there. That's you know how many bags you can trade that information for in the future if you use it properly.
Signed by Warren Buffett. You know what I had to go through to get that? Well, not Warren Buffett, but one of his brothers, John Buffett.
John Buffett.
That guy is shaking hands with Warren Buffett. That guy's.
It's actually signed by Jimmy Buffett. It was kind of a mix-up, but it's kind of a cool collector's item.
This is the John Hancock of Warren Buffett's stepbrother. And then get your dad boxing gloves, even if he's 75.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, though? Because we've talked about the studies or whatever, but I don't know if we've ever made this connection, but it is interesting that for women, women in general are like most concerned about climate change, right?
Yep.
And I think men are more concerned about like the economy crashing and like the national debt and stuff like that.
So they're more concerned about the real things that are current.
Isn't that kind of funny? But I mean, a better way to put it is that like men are concerned with finances and women are concerned with the weather.
Yeah. And women are more likely to have anxiety. They're just in general, so they're pushing stuff way further out. Mm-hmm. You know, just the nature of anxiety is these concerns that are way out in the future.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So 2023, I think my New Year's resolution is to get filthy fucking rich.
Yeah, through bonds.
Get filthy rich on these bonds.
My 2024 New Year's resolution is going to be to break into the prison that Sam Bankman-Fried is currently in.
Okay.
And shiv him in the yard. We're going to fight him in the yard, and then I have to break myself back.
Dude, how good would that be if you organize with the guards, and then they bring him in, and then you go, "Hello," and he just kicks the shit out of you, and then... And you just have to walk home.
Yeah.
It cost me $8,000 to bribe those guards.
To bribe those guards to get in the jail. And then Sam Bankman-Fried's like, "I've been rolling jujitsu this entire time. People don't know about it.
Doing push-ups.
I was trained by George St. Pierre.
You're just sniffling in the corner.
I gotta
That's if anyone want to invest in a property. If anyone in the New York greater area is a real estate agent that knows that shit, fucking hit me up. Let's fucking do this.
Let's do some deals.
Let's fucking do this. Let's do some deals. I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
Toronto was fucking awesome, by the way.
Sick.
Everyone who came, it was like huge show. We had every squad, like dudes from the band scene, dudes from college, all the comedians. We had like 25. It was pretty funny at one point. There was 25 dudes in the dressing room. We were doing videos, and it was just like not a single girl. And then my mom walked in, and then we go, "A little bit of chum for the boys." Big pop. My mom was sort of a hit that night, though.
Yeah, your mom was.
She was on one.
She was on one.
She was sort of a hit.
Solid hang.
It was a solid hang.
See where you get it
I
from.
threw a party. Yeah, well, exactly. I threw a party afterwards. We had like 70 people there. There was all the squad, and there was a few. But most of the time, I did a pretty good job of managing everyone. So I think everyone took a lot of effort in messaging people, and everyone wants some sort of special treatment. I think a couple people weren't that happy with me, but there was. It's always that
always happens.
We were saying it was in the exact order of the people that you're most friends with, the people that you're least friends with. But there is some dudes And it's like, it's when it's the dudes that are kind of feminine, they're a little emo. There was a couple that would like walk up to me at the party, and you're just like, obviously I'm dealing with like a crazy amount of stuff that night, right?
Yeah.
And also they would people
Your
that
family.
and my fucking parents are there, and then they would come up, and I would be like mid conversation with like a cousin, you know what I mean? And it'd be like, oh, because you try to just like a Christmas party or something. You're like, yeah, you want to talk to everyone for a couple minutes or whatever, right? So you'd be talking to like a cousin or something, and then someone would come up and be like, what's up? And I'd be like, oh yeah, just give me a second, and he would go, oh. And he would sort of stomp off, and then
They just leave silently.
one guy messaged me. He was like, hey, tried to say hi, but you're really busy. So anyways, I took off, and I was like, oh, crazy. Well, it's only 11. We're still going, blah, blah. And he was like, no, he goes, no, I get it. It's your night. Something like that. And I was just like,
Really passive aggressive.
oh, it was like, buddy, this is someone that knew like 10 people there. I was like, buddy, you know everyone there.
Yeah, you can just hang out. You can just hang out.
Isn't that crazy? But it's such a... It'd be like, can you imagine like going to like a work party where you know most of the people, and then like you're like, I guess you want to talk to one guy, and then you go up and in mid conversation with someone else, and then just like storm home, and you go, how was your work party? You go, no one wanted to talk to me.
You think he maybe had a script he wanted you to read, and that was why he was bummed? He had a script that he was planning on handing you right at the perfect time, and then you kind of like didn't give him the time. He goes, you walk home, and he goes, one day you'll get published, one day you'll get produced, and Ryan will be kicking himself.
There's just it really drives me nuts when people give you an attitude of like, oh, I guess you think you're important now. And it was like, me like having being mid conversation with my relative is not me thinking I'm important.
Yeah.
Like that's the attitude of like,
Yeah, it's not like fucking you're like talking to this person, then Drake walks in and you're just like, oh, excuse me, and then you just like, beeline it.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, it was just that the more important part was like everyone who's actually our like close friends and all that stuff are all super cool.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Of course not. It'd be insane.
No.
It'd be perfectly insane.
Some people are perfectly insane.
But it is such a thing you see. If you're that dude, if you have those emo tendencies, get rid of them.
Yeah.
It just makes
Emo
you weird.
tendencies on a guy suck.
Emo tendencies on a guy's the
Unless
worst.
unless you're out in some band. Like an emo band.
Yeah, but even then, you don't need to be emo off stage.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe they're like, it's an act. And
You don't need to be emo
cool.
at the after party.
That's true.
Like it is it's energy of like my friggin' parents don't love me. Like
It's
when
a
like it's like
depressed
16
teenage girl.
it's depressed teenage girl energy,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, well, fuck you, Dad. And it was just like, everyone here.
Fuck you, Phil.
Yeah, that's okay. So actually, one thing I have to tell you though, because I don't think I told you this.
Oh, okay.
I got a Seagall story.
Ooh.
Did I tell you?
No.
Okay,
Don't
so,
think
I don't. It's a relative of mine.
Oh, I definitely did not hear this.
Pretty good, right?
Okay.
At the NAMM conference.
Yeah.
The music conference.
Yeah.
He's talking to Seagall, and there's a bunch of people. He gets introduced, and so Seagall.
Cassell has a couple albums, right?
Oh yeah, Seagall.
Yeah.
Smack me, smashing the punani. He does the reggae albums.
But there's one where
he
he's like
sings in a reggae accent.
But there's one where he's like holding like a Fender Stratocaster, like he's like it's like laid across his chest. It's like a blues album or rock or something.
Yeah, he also did a blues album where he was
Yeah.
kind of like a fat bluesman.
Yeah, he's like a fat bluesman, right? There's
Yeah.
that. Okay.
He did sort of like a BB King thing where he was like fat sitting on a chair, just like rocking out to blues with his eyes closed. But before that, he cranked out a bunch of Jamaican albums, and it was kind of the same format with his movies where he has. He got all these like rappers to be like his co-stars and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's Frank D'Angelo, basically.
He's Frank D'Angelo, basically.
Yeah, but-
So he's at the NAMM conference, and there's a bunch of people there. They get introduced or whatever. Not in like a fan way, like in a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
People all know each other kind of way, right? Seagall's handlers and his boys that he's there with some other musicians. They all know each other, right?
Okay.
And then he goes, he was looking at the guitar collection. He starts talking about it, and he goes, he goes, I know Randy Bachman. He actually has a pretty big guitar collection. He was showing me the other day, making conversation, and he goes, yeah, I have one of the biggest guitar collections in the world, but you should know that. He goes, anyone, that knows like in his circle. He goes, he goes, say you should know that, and everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He goes, I got the biggest guitar collection in the world, but you should know that. And he goes, oh, crazy. He was like, oh, that's pretty cool. What type do you have? And he starts telling him, and he goes, yeah, the friend of mine, his was like a Gretsch collection, and he sold it for like $3 million. And he goes, Gretsch sucks, and walks away.
That's not a Gretsch, man. Huh?
Gretsch sucks, and walks away.
Is this true that he has this crazy collection? Is this a public thing?
You should already know that.
I don't know that. I'm not a Seagall head.
I mean, no, I don't think it's that public knowledge that Seagall has a big guitar collection.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
But you should know that. I was dying when I got that story.
You know what? I just let you Google it and you go Steven Seagall, and there's a YouTube video that says Steven Seagal's incredible guitar collection.
Oh, of course. He probably hired a publicist just to get his guitar collection out there.
Oh, you know what? I think he actually, this is on his unofficial Steven Seagal message board, so that's probably done by him. All right.
Did you hear Seagal's got the fucking nastiest guitar collection?
It's just him at a Guitar Center, just like a photo in front of the wall.
Yeah.
This is me. You're at a store.
Pretty good though, right? And then I wanted to say, I came back to New York. I was on the subway. New York is like Mad Max a little bit right now.
Yeah.
I'm on there, and there's these 4 kids, and these kids have their there's 4 different people blasting songs on their phone, all like drill rap and stuff like that, right? And then they start dancing and stuff, like, so it's 4 dudes just hanging out. They start dancing.
They have the shiesties on?
One of them had the shiesties, but you could see the face, not like the complete shiesties. Okay. One of them had like almost like a half shiesty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they just start smoking blunts on the subway. Yep. So this is more normal. I've never seen this before. And then
what time was this?
5.
Oh, that's a little early for that.
School's out.
That's a little
right
early.
at school's out, right? So these guys, they're smoking blunts on the subway, and there was like a guy probably in his like 60s coming home from work. They walk over to him, take a big hit of the blunt, and like just blow it in his direction as if like, what are you gonna do about it? And the guy sort of moves over, and then they just kind of like, they were like looking, they wanted to like beat up a businessman.
Sure.
Sort of was the vibe. It felt like Warriors come out and play.
It's Joker.
I mean, there's nothing more embarrassing than just get your ass handed to you by some high school kids, but you're by yourself, right?
Of course.
So it is a little bit.
But man,
I got on a different train, and I felt like a bitch because I'm kind of like, I'm moving trains to get away from these like 17-year-olds, but there's 4 of them. They're all pretty big.
I mean, I told you that one time. Did I tell you that? I think I said it on this podcast, but that one time where I was like left the studio at like 1 in the morning, and then there were like 2 trains for me to get on, and I just was like in the last moment, like 2 cars.
Okay.
I'm like, one was totally empty, and then the one looked empty. Or one was like not that empty, and one looked totally empty. And I got on the one that I thought was totally empty, but it was just like the metal was blocking, and it was just like these 4 kids, literally probably the same kids.
Like they're like trying to intimidate you.
Yeah, and I get on, and they're all in shiesty masks or whatever playing, like, and I'm just like sitting there. It's like 1:30 in the morning though.
You're trying to keep your eyes to your fucking self, aren't
and
you?
I just was like, just staring at my phone.
Do they blew
and then
like,
I was like,
marijuana smoke at a guy's direction?
These ones weren't smoking. Yeah. I don't even know how you can protect yourself in New York City. Like, what do you even? You're not allowed to do anything.
No, you don't do shit. You get on the next train is what you do. You get the fuck off there.
Yeah. Can you get are asps legal here?
What's
like
that?
Those like extendo batons?
No, people have. Well, I don't know about that. Probably not.
I know blackjacks are illegal. Billy clubs are illegal.
But I know a lot of people that have tasers.
Tasers are legal?
A lot of girls have that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, taser doesn't seem like that would be the most effective though.
The trick is you have to have a taser, and then if someone asks you why you have a taser, you go, in case a white guy harasses me. And then people go, actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
And then you wink.
Yeah. White guys are out of hand.
Yeah. It was. I don't know if it was all one race either. I think it was a bunch of different things, to be completely honest. But
I'm sure it was.
The bottom line was you don't want any. You wanted to get out of there, man.
Yeah. It's wild though.
And you know what else I saw when I was coming back from the airport? A big sign paid for by Jews.
Yeah.
And it says,
we've been buying a lot of signs recently.
The sign business is booming for the Jews.
The Jews.
This is what it said. Don't be naive. Hamas is your problem too.
Yeah.
That's a funny one.
Yeah. Was it one of the hot pink ones?
Yeah, I think it was pink.
Yeah. They've been putting up these hot pink billboards.
Well, it's also funny because like how? You know what I mean?
How what?
How is Hamas my problem?
Well, wait till they're here.
Oh, that's the reason.
I guess everybody goes, Hamas is going to be running the university soon, and then you just wait 30 years and
that's true. And
we're all getting fucking Sharia law and shit.
When the leader of Hamas is also the like new booker for Just for Laughs.
I mean, it's not that far off already, but
in the ultimate diversity spectacular. that's like a diversity 2085. It's just like you don't even have any Hamas members on the showcase.
yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, like the Hamas community's all complaining online.
Yeah,
like, representation really matters for us too.
Yeah, no.
It's like, how do I'm supposed to think I can be a comedian when I don't see one member of Hamas getting a showcase spot?
There are 0 stories showcasing the plight of Hamas members.
So I'm stoning this bitch, and she is screaming.
Is that they get mad because they did a movie with Hamas in it and they didn't get actual Hamas members?
Yeah. Yeah, they got the wrong kind of brown.
They just get a normal guy to play
It's
Hamas.
like Indian guy.
This guy wasn't even done any terror. Yeah. Well, the Jews is a little bit confusing some of the times with the stuff, though. For example, right? Mm-hmm. Like Anne Frank, it was that story because those the guys were not Jewish and they kept her in her attic, right?
Yeah.
And then, but if I keep a Jewish girl in my attic for 4 years,
forcibly,
right?
Yeah.
You go, which is it? You know what I mean? Is keeping Jewish girls in your attic positive or is it negative? Because I'm getting mixed signals.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I've been asking, I go, as a Gentile, I've been trained to be, I've been brought up under the preconceived notion that having a Jewish girl in your attic is a very commendable thing. It's heroic.
Yeah.
So then, then the police are busting down your door, a hero's door, by the way.
Yeah, you go, wait, I had to give her an exit?
Have you seen what's happening? I have to have a Jewish girl in my attic. Have you not been on a college campus?
That was actually one of my favorite parts.
Why is she chained up? I go, that's for her own good.
Like, that was part of when the narrative was swapping between like the Jews being like the good guys and the bad guys in this whole thing, and then like 2 days in,
the Kaiser Sosa moment.
No, yeah, well, 2 days in, and all the Jewish people on Twitter were like, "Would you hide me in your attic?" Like, that was like a Twitter like trend was people being like, "Would you hide?"
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was like on October 9th. Jews were like, "Would you hide me in your attic or whatever?"
Well, I need a bigger attic for you.
Yeah, they don't have a soundproof attic. You fucking.
Danny, if you were, if the Nazi guards came in, this is all they'd hear.
Where's the remote?
They just hear you have to keep quiet, but they go, you just hear, and they go, what's that? And you're just like, I told you to be quiet. You're like, futures were down. I had no choice. This is life or death. Alec Baldwin got in a shouting match. Do you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
What is he doing? What is a guy like Alec Baldwin going to the protest and yelling at people?
He loves. I don't know what he was
He
doing.
likes getting in the scrum.
I don't get it. I couldn't figure out why he was at Grand Central Station because that's like slumming it for him to go to a train station. Like he has no reason to be at a fucking train station.
I think a lot of those guys sort of still see themselves as like, I'm a fucking New York guy.
Yeah. So I guess maybe because he was notorious
This is my
for,
fucking city. Yeah,
he was notorious for getting in fights with journalists or paparazzi or whatever, where they would be following around his neighborhood and shit, and he'd just get in their face like.
Okay, so this is normal for him.
Oh yeah. Like he's had like I'm pretty sure assault charges and stuff for like fighting.
But he's pro Israel, right?
Yeah,
but he was at the like pro Palestine rally.
Yeah. I think I don't know what he was doing there.
Well, Baldwin's Jewish, no,
they're like Irish.
Baldwin is Irish.
They're like Irish family.
Okay,
there's fucking 14 of them.
That's not a Jew move.
That's an Irish move right there.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just it sounded a little Jewy to me. That Baldwin. I guess you're right. That makes sense.
They're
and then also, lastly, before we get into stuff. George Santos, he told Danny that at the party that he has $1 million.
That just came out on YouTube.
George Santos told Danny all night that he was doing a pay-per-view with Z-Way and they had $1 million sold already,
and he was getting half of it.
So he said he was getting $500,000. Then 2 days later, it just comes out on YouTube.
Yeah, it just comes out on YouTube. And Z-Way I saw in her Twitter, she's like, did a pay-per-view, but then there was no pay-per-view element to it.
Right. So this guy is just a pathological liar.
Yeah,
cannot be
he's
stopped.
Just straight up did it. I don't know if she paid him. Maybe she did pay him his fee.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've retracted his invitation to the podcast officially.
I mean, we're not paying $5,000 for him to come on.
He's paying us $5,000 if he wants to come on. How about that, pal?
Let him do his cameo.
Okay, so do you know who Amanda Bynes is?
Of course.
So this is probably one of the best things ever. So Amanda Bynes She wants to start a podcast, right? She's been like a wacky person on the internet. She kind of rules.
Yeah.
She's like
she was
a
in, what was the
maniac.
movie she was in?
She was in
The one where she was like the soccer player. That was like the one. That was her famous.
Oh, Johnny, if you don't mind, find the famous movie that Amanda Bynes was in.
That was, yeah. I think David Cross was in it as well. That was like the movie that she became famous for. It was like she's like the soccer player.
She was a Disney star.
Yeah,
though.
but it was like a high school. But this was like the movie, and then it totally went off the rails from there. How are we looking? All right,
He's not
anyways,
finding this soccer
important.
movie. I'll tell you that much.
She's the man.
Okay,
Yeah, it was a big one.
that's Danny's relationship. What?
Hairspray remake. Yeah,
Hairspray
but
remake.
She's the man was like popular.
Okay, so, but she's been wacky on Twitter every once in a while she comes back, and then for the last like year she's been talking about how she might start a podcast, and I
Yeah.
feel like this is just very indicative of everyone we know and people that are it's like the guys who have the guy version is the business that they plan on starting, and then the girl version is I don't know. They're all. I guess they're all the same
Some
thing. but
hobby they're gonna take
They're
up.
all kind of some
The
version.
crock
I'm gonna
pot they're
start.
gonna finally use.
How many people? I'm going to start comedy. I'm going to start my own cupcake shop. I'm going to start a personal training business. People have a lot of things they're going to start, right?
Yep.
So she does podcast. She does one episode. This is what she said after her first episode.
I want to thank everyone who watched the first episode of the podcast. I had the best time filming it. It was so much fun. I also want to thank Dahlia Moth for being an amazing first guest on the show. Also, we are filming the next episode in 2 weeks. I hope you all tune into that.
So she's having a good time after episode one.
Yep.
She does first episode.
She's got a good schedule going.
She's got a
one
good
every
schedule.
An hour every 2 weeks. That's all she can handle.
That's all she can handle. She's done one episode. She bigged it up forever. She has a good time doing the episode. She goes, the next one, we're going to film, by the way. You
Yeah.
didn't hear that part. Filming in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I think she said filming.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
filming in 2 weeks. So that means it's going to come out in about a month. So it's going to be a once in a month drop, and this is kind of your whole thing. And then 2 days later, this is the drop that she makes.
So even though the podcast is doing really well and the response has been great, I am going to take a pause on it for now. We are not able to get the type of guests that I'd like on the show, like say Jack Harlow or Drake or Post Malone. So maybe
Unfortunately,
The A-list of A-listers in the world do not want to come to
episode 2.
episode 2 of the. Well, she probably saw that Bobby chick or whatever, and she goes, "Well, she
That's
gets
me.
good guests. and I'm more famous than her. Who the fuck is she?"
Well, I said that when we started our podcast, episode 2. I go, oh, Rogan's not responding to me, so this is some bullshit.
I guess time to pack it up, huh?
Well,
I guess it wasn't meant to be.
I guess it wasn't meant to be because I reached out to Michael Jordan. I reached out to Michael Jordan, Drake, and Joe Rogan, and guess what? Neither of them explained.
Yeah, I mean, hey man.
But that's a story as old as time.
That's so funny because I wonder if there was someone in her ear being like, "Yeah, maybe we'll be able to get."
Oh yeah, well, obviously we'll get this No Namer episode 1.
Yeah.
Obviously episode 2 will be Drake. Episode 3 will just probably be The King.
Sure,
Episode 4 will be Obama.
Yeah, just normal stuff, And then you're like, you don't want to maybe wait 10 episodes just so people know. I mean, she's mostly famous now for being crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Like, she's not famous anymore for anything other than just like.
She kind of kicks ass though.
Yeah,
How much of
but-
a maniac she is.
Yeah, but she's only famous now for getting tattoos on her face and just being mental.
looking weird.
Yeah. So.
She's sort of become a poster person for like her face looks like it transformed a lot.
Yeah, and you know what's so weird too? If she had any sort of real kind of advice or like good advisors, they could be like, you probably could go do the rounds on a lot of pretty huge podcasts.
People will have you on.
Yeah,
And
to
she doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do that, I guess.
That's called work,
yeah, it's
Danny.
not work to build a podcast.
But she's gonna have to travel now. Now she's taking a plane.
That's a good point.
Get
yeah.
that fuck.
She's probably
outta
on some
here.
sort of no-fly list, or she probably only flies private, but she can't afford to fly private. So she just
That's a
doesn't
big
fly.
problem. Yeah.
It's kind of an issue.
But I just feel like I've seen this story so many times of like talking about starting something for 6 months, doing one little bit of it, and then being like, "Well, it didn't work.
Yeah,
I'm not a billionaire yet.
You go,
The fuck is this? I'm not a billionaire yet."
hey man, no one to fold them. As
Yeah.
they say.
Now, Danny, there's certain things that just do not mix together. Orange juice and brushing your teeth.
Ugh.
Keep them apart. Early meetings on Monday morning and partying the night before.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Going to bed and scrolling on your phone.
Yeah.
Having a podcast and then coughing a bunch.
Yeah.
Those are two things that don't go together.
No.
They just don't mix like oil and water. And our bodies don't absorb CBD very well. So when you reach for the oil-based CBD products, you could be absorbing as low as 6% of what's on the label. So Nextevo Naturals has developed a proprietary water-soluble form of CBD, clinically tested multiple times, which has proven to work faster and absorb 4 times better. So you can stay calmer, sleep better during the stressful time of year. I've been using Nextevo Naturals. I got them beside my bed. They help you fall asleep. They get the stress done. So I'm a big fan of this product. It's not well known, but CBD isn't actually an oil. But other companies often dissolve it in oil because it's a cheap and easy way to make the products like tinctures and gummies. Not Nextevo Naturals. So with so many choices, you can only trust the brand with data. Nextevo products are proven to absorb 4 times better than most oil-based products.
Sorry.
See, that's another thing that doesn't go together.
Oh, God.
Does not go together. Trust the brand with the data. The absorption starting in just 10 minutes. Now you can try their brand new extra strength daily wellness CBD gummies that are 2 times stronger than the regular strength. I like the gummies because I like the taste as well. So I'm a Nextevo Naturals guy. Don't waste your time with oil-based CBD that might not work. Upgrade to better natural solutions from Nextevo. Go to nextevo.com. Use the promo code BOYSCAST to get 25% off. That is 25% off at nextevo.com. Promo code BOYSCAST. And this bustling holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, flavorful meals to fuel your jam-packed days. And mine specifically are jam-packed with Christmas events, which I'm not actually particularly happy about. It's actually my least favorite time of year.
Try being Jewish.
Why, do you have to do more stuff?
No,
you have to do less stuff than
that's
me.
what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Come on over to the dark side, pal.
Well, I'll tell you what. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Can help you eat well for breakfast, lunch, dinner with chef prepared, dietitian approved. You'll save time and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling your holiday to-dos, which in my case are way too many. So you can treat yourself to high-quality, delicious meals over the holidays. Choose from 35 chef-crafted meals every week that support a healthy lifestyle. They meet your meal preferences, whether it's calorie smart, vegan, veggie, protein plus, and wholesome options as well. And what I've been doing lately is I kind of was setting it and forgetting it with Protein Plus.
Yep.
But I decided to mix it up a little bit, so I've actually been choosing my different meals, which I think that I'm gonna. I actually do.
I love the factory meals.
Yes, but I do think that it was a better move to actually choose them yourself if you're doing it.
Yeah.
I was because they do choose good ones, but sometimes there's ones you like way better.
Oh yeah, I mean you'll always have preferences.
You know what? Maybe it took me I had to do it for a couple of weeks, and then
because they have so many. There's so many options.
Yeah, and there's certain ones that I like the vegetables way more. So I've been choosing my own.
Yep.
So that's why I've been doing it.
Choose your own
With
adventure.
Factor, you can rest assured you're making a sustainable choice. We offset 100% of our delivery emissions, source 100% renewable electricity for our production sites and offices. This December, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals, enjoy a fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered straight to your door, ready to eat in just 2 minutes, no press, no mess, and prep. I love Factor. The meals are delicious. Head to factormeals.com/boyscast50 and use the code boyscast50 to get 50% off. That is code boyscast50 at factormeals.com/boyscast50 to get 50% off. Millie Bobby Brown also says she became a feminist after a visit to a psychic.
Surprised that she wasn't already a feminist.
Well, I was surprised too. But more importantly, that's a sort of a life hack, is if you can pay a psychic to tell girls anything, they'll go do it, right?
Yeah.
Because she came home and, well, she sort of said, she goes, I'm picturing, obviously a pretty safe move to tell a Hollywood actress, I see you fucking leaning into this feminist thing pretty quickly. But it's like, this guy got her all on the board, and that's why she shaved her head, the whole deal, I would assume.
Yep.
But just psychic infiltration, you could get them to do, I just see you having like dinner on the table every day for the next year with the guy that you're in a relationship with.
I see it. You wouldn't want to go against the psychic, would you?
I'm definitely not seeing you snooping around. That's one thing I never see you. I'm never seeing you do that.
No, not trying to look at when he enters his password on his phone. You're not doing that. You're not trying to glance over.
Would you think that you would ever change if you went to a psychic and he sees, I can see you getting so fucking red pilled. It's not even funny, dude. You're gonna be drenched in red pills.
Right.
Your face is gonna be red. People are gonna call you tomato, dude.
Tomato? I can see that.
Want to hear a weird article?
Yeah.
So they're trying to make some point here as the Independent, but I disagree with it. I'm just saying it's relevant to us, and it would be bad news if it was really true. But they go, why making your date laugh doesn't necessarily mean you're funny. And they did a study with
Listen up, ladies. I assume this is what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's just 'cause
that's obviously a part of it.
It's just because when you're a chick on a date and you're killing,
you know
this
what?
isn't real life.
I wasn't making.
No, they're definitely talking about guys.
Okay, they are talking about guys.
Yeah.
But you are right though that maybe they did have guys and girls.
Nah, no.
You think the move that they're making is for guys?
For guys.
Okay, dating men. Okay. The finding from the research team at the University of Queensland, who asked 554 heterosexual volunteers to take part in a series of 3-minute speed dates, we found, irrespective of sex, participants who laughed more at their partner or received more laughs did not rate their partner as more or less attractive. So it makes, obviously the guy to girl one makes sense.
Like the photo is of that makes you think they're talking about guys.
Well, it sounds like they're talking about both. One probably isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
But you're right. Some girls would be maybe surprised, like what I was killing on that date and the guys didn't care.
Well, the amount of chicks who are like, yeah, I'm funny.
And then that should matter.
No, but the amount of girls who
Matters a little bit for me.
No, but I'm saying the amount of girls who will matter of factly say, oh, I'm funny, and then guys are like,
Yes, exactly.
You're a real cut up.
Well,
Sharon.
no, you are right, because generally a lot of times girls that say I'm really funny, usually what it means is they're like loud.
Or whatever they are. Guys are like, haha, yeah, they're not, if they're trying to bang you, they're just playing along.
That's what it sort of said though, because it said our results suggest that trying too hard to be funny on a date might be counterproductive. So I think a lot of times with the girl, it's like the trying too hard to be funny is like that one hits
For
a lot,
sure,
right?
for sure. I've ever hung
You can
out-
tell a girl. And, sorry, say that again.
Just like hanging out with normal, sometimes guys or whatever who are like not funny, and then you go, this must be a struggle. Like if you ever like meet someone who's just a real like, kind of like has no sense of humor kind of person, then you go, man, dating must be so hard. Like, what do you talk about? What do you like? What's a date like with someone who has no sense of humor?
Interesting,
like a guy,
yes.
you know what I mean? Like, what do you say? Like, oh, I like wine. And
I think you talk about your career, probably.
I guess, yeah.
Or you're like you just need a person, you need something you're into. So you could be the guy that's like, talks about, and that's why getting in touch with myself and, I love nature and I love, you maybe talk about, like some other like personality that you have, like you're like a hippie guy, you know what I mean? Like, I need to get my chakras aligned.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a fun.
Well, here's my theory on this, right? And it explains both of them, because they're saying that funniness is not a skill, but what they're missing, funniness doesn't make you more attractive. And this is the real truth, is that funniness is an amazing secondary skill.
Absolutely.
So the truth is, and this goes with girls a lot of times, one of the
It's a want to have, not a need to have.
It's an amazing thing if they have something else.
Yeah.
So this is why with girls, like, it's good if they're funny, if they're also hard. When a girl, you can tell being funny is like the hugest part of her personality. Like, you don't want that to be their primary thing, right? So this is why comedians, it's actually not always great, because the truth is, I actually found, like, I would never tell girls I was a comedian. I just felt like I would always say like director or something like that, because I always felt like it would be like, oh, you're like really funny, and then you go, what do you do, a comedian? You go, oh, that's all you are.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were equally as funny and you're like, oh, I run this business or whatever, and you go, oh, you this and you're funny, or like, this guy's good looking, in shape, and this, and he's funny.
Sure.
Being funny is an amazing, and you're this. It is not an amazing, oh, you're that.
Yeah, you're the only thing that you do is funny, unless you're Jim Carrey.
Whereas like being like really good looking is a fine, oh, you're just that for a girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And it might be, or you as a guy, you go, oh, he's rich. That might be good, but you go, if he's rich and he's funny, all of a sudden, funniness is an amazing secondary skill.
Yeah, I agree.
It is not a particularly
Unless you're
attractive
super
only
rich
skill.
because you're funny. I guess that's maybe. I don't know how that would.
Okay, but put it this way: why do girls? Okay, if funniness is so important, why are musicians more like get more girls?
It's not
than
important.
comedians?
That's a lie. I mean, I agree with you that like when women go, oh, I just want a funny guy.
Yes, but musicians who are funny do good with women.
Oh, for sure.
So my point is,
But do musicians who are not funny? I assume they would also do well with women.
some, but the truth is, like, all of my friends who are like musicians, they were like the best with women, were like the funny ones.
Funny ones, yeah.
Well, it's just because also like a lot of times funniness is like directly correlated with like how good you are socially.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know what I mean?
And
Because
there's
like you said, most of socializing is like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there's like an inherent sometimes like awkwardness and being on like maybe a first date, which being funny is the probably best way to kind of cut that.
Of course, there's other ways to skin a cat, like being a tortured, the tortured guy has its, you're in the right scenarios. Or just being like a super, powerful rich guy. Like, there's different ways to skin a cat.
Yeah.
But funniness is a great secondary thing.
Yeah.
But it is not the only
Not
thing.
the main thing, no. I mean, no guy is specifically looking for a girl that's funny. It's nice.
No, but that's
So it might not even be the secondary thing for a girl.
I think you're right. I think for girls it's probably like third or fourth.
Yeah.
And for girls, no girl's looking for a guy that's just funny, even though they say they are.
Yeah.
What they're looking for is a guy who's also funny in addition to some other thing that I liked.
Yes, correct. Absolutely.
So that's why their study doesn't make sense, because they were testing a secondary characteristic as if it was a
As the main
primary.
thing. Yeah, well, they got to do their stupid studies.
Sure, but someone should say to Queens, like, you're doing it wrong. Queensland University.
Queensland.
Someone needs to tell them that. Now, okay. A lot's been going on. There's the Trump stuff. But more importantly, there is probably a story that was made for the BOYSCAST. It was like they made it in a lab for our podcast. And I just want to say, it's time. And sometimes we have fun here.
We have a good time.
Sometimes we have fun here, but then there's other times we need to get down to ass tax.
Ass tax.
I got some more. Ready?
Nice.
Let's get to the dong and the short of it. Guys, it's time to butt to the chase here and get this show on the bone, because there was gay sex in the Senate, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there was.
Ben Cardin.
Not figuratively.
Not figuratively.
Literal gay butt sex.
Put a fork in me. I'm done. Guys, they sent this story over. We're talking two dudes boning, leather outfits. One's dressed as a daddy on the Senate floor.
On the Senate floor, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. I'm retiring. Turn off the mics. Shut off the lights. We are going home.
We've reached the high water mark here. This is going to be tough to top ever.
I saw this. I go, we had a good run.
Insane.
Like Amanda Bynes, the podcast has reached the
released
peak.
this video? Did we know?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, like who? I guess you know what it is. Politics.
I've done some research.
Politics is so full of snakes, where somebody probably, because at the end of the day, the people on the right and the left, they are actually, like, if you work in that Senate building, you probably are actually friends. Mm-hmm. So then there's probably like a gay contingent,
Gay contingent.
So it makes this, and probably gays are like,
showed you this, check this out. I'm getting my fucking
and then it goes,
ass
come on,
rail.
show me, and then and then eventually someone just like, for a political purpose, leaks it.
That is true, and I've
full Judas.
I got to be honest with you. I read pretty much every article possible on this.
Yep.
I became my joke.
Yeah.
Where I was saying that the Hunter Biden thing convinced people that they had to be like, all right, let's go. We need to see this dick. You know what I mean? That was me. I was like, is there another angle?
I'm now a gay porn expert,
buddy. I'm reading research on this like I'm doing a thesis on this puppy, and I didn't find out how it leaked. You know what? This was the real ass-surrection. How about this? This was the real insert-rection.
Insert-rection.
Insert-erection.
Insert-erection.
This was the actual gay insert-rection.
Insert-rectum.
And I gotta say this before we continue.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see two people have sex on the Senate floor. Because usually we're the ones getting fucked. Normally it's the taxpayer.
Yeah.
Normally it's the common working man.
Fucked on the floor of the Senate.
We're the ones that are getting bent over.
Ryan, I got bad news for you.
You're the ones that normally got your fucking face in the pillow on the Senate floor.
Who do you think paid for that lube and those chaps, pal?
The common working man. Just a guy. No, how many people do you think made that joke?
Oh, yeah. That's...
Normally, Daniel Bolashuk's the one getting his ass just fucking railed.
pushed in.
Getting his shit pushed in.
Getting my shit pushed in. Training day.
Fucking ass pushed. Fucking taxpayer, that's who.
Yeah.
The United States citizens, tax-paying, God-fearing citizens are normally the ones that are just getting bent over, putting your nuts in a vice.
They're not sending their best. I'm telling you. After hanging out with all those Congress people the other weekend, and
That's a good point.
They're not sending their best. We're not getting the best. There's whatever incentive. Actually, I wonder what happened.
They're sending their gayest.
Martin Shkreli was trying to take George Santos' seat, actually. He's trying to run for Santos'
yeah.
seat. I don't know if he got it. I should find out if he got enough signatures because he's from the same county.
Love that.
And I didn't realize congressperson is meant to be a part-time job. It's not meant to be a full-time job.
What?
Yeah, it's meant to be like a...
Kind of like a condo board position.
It's kind of meant to be like a part-time job.
Or sort of like being on your like kid's school board.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah. Like it's not meant to be your full-time gig. Like they all have... I mean, some of them obviously make it their full-time gigs, but I think their way was originally designed and like...
Really?
Yeah. And that's at least what Shkreli was saying. So anyways, I wonder if he got on the ballot because he needed like 1,500 signatures by Monday. You got to get like physical signatures
Get on the ballot.
from people who are registered Republicans and stuff. It's all thing.
Well, this has been the best story since that cop that banged everyone, something Hall.
Yeah, Megan Hall.
Megan Hall.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Let's see the goods. Danny has been doing independent research himself all day.
Yeah, I've been
But-
doing a lot.
So I went through all the different
Boy, are my balls dry.
And this is the
talking about
best
gay
part
porn?
of it. So CNN.
Yeah.
This is CNN's article that they put out in his opinion. Sometimes his sex tape is just a sex tape. The story, if you haven't heard, Senate staffer was fired after a video was made public of someone having sex in the Senate hearing room. The question is, why are we still talking about this?
Oh, really?
So the Senate, not that big of a deal, guys.
Yeah.
Now listen. You want to look me straight in the eye. I would love to say this to my fucking face. This person's going to write an article. I would love you to come to BOYSCAST studio, look me in the face and go, 2 guys got caught dominating each other's buttholes on the Senate floor. What's the big deal?
Yeah, what is the big deal?
Nothing funny about it.
No, the fact that the video is all over the internet.
Someone's getting tuned on the Senate floor.
Oh, man.
Just
Imagine
in a
how-
bondage outfit, just getting fed. Probably should be a quick mention on page 55.
Imagine how giddy Jake Tapper would be if this was like 2 fucking Republicans banging it out.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, Danny.
Yeah.
Because I've done a little research on my own.
Okay.
Okay. So this is CNN's position, right?
Uh-huh.
Not a fucking
Doggy
big
style?
deal.
Doggy?
Not a big deal, correct? They go, a couple of senators, gay sex on the Senate floor.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
2 men who are in love.
Should be a little quick little
America.
snippet, probably on the, I would say the back,
So they're just trying to make a baby, just like anybody else.
trying to make a baby. So, but there's not a big deal to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just rewind a little bit
Uh-huh.
to, I don't know, a month ago. A little someone called Lauren Boebert
Uh-huh.
was in a theater. Quick search on
Yeah.
CNN's page. I go, Lauren Boebert. This is what we got. Theater video surveillance shows U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert escorted out of Beetlejuice musical. Next article. Video show Lauren Boebert escorted out of theater. Next article. Boebert claims she was kicked out of theater for being too eccentric. Next article. Boebert apologizes for new video appears to contradict her account of what happened after the theater. But 2 guys boning.
Whoa.
2 guys boning should be a quick little paragraph in
Ryan,
another article.
Playing grab ass at Beetlejuice is indecent. That's the difference here. That's what you're
true.
not getting.
I didn't know. You have to remember.
In dark theater playing grab ass, that is indecent behavior. Whereas just getting your ass just
Folded!
railed out, just absolutely
inside out.
dummied, taken to Pound Town, sounding like a fucking boot in mud during Vietnam. That is just 2 consenting adults who are just enjoying each other's company in America.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Someone had to say it, and why not? What better person than you?
Then, yeah.
But the press, and that's us now.
Yeah.
The press
Press.
has now I got his fucking face is press. The press has now spent days covering what should have been a flash in the pan story. I'm gonna do a little correction here. Ass in the pan story.
Ass in the pan. Man, CNN's really leaving a lot on the table here.
Is that imagine living in that world where
you're like
you have to walk two guys boning on the Senate floor, and you have to be like, maybe I'm not getting the joke.
Yeah, is there a joke here? Sorry, we're not the New York Post. I don't know. We don't have funny puns here.
Yeah. And then you go, hey guys, look over there. Lauren Boebert just kissed a guy. Oh.
Fondled their tits. Let's make it national news.
After a staffer who screwed up was penalized accordingly.
Sounds like he got penalized accordingly beforehand.
He was penalized.
If that video is any indication, he was getting penalized pretty bad.
Penis size. Was reportedly asked whether she supports an investigation into the act. Why in the world would this be necessary? The evidence is right there on tape, so she does not want an investigation.
Yeah.
Stop right there. People are still talking about Bill Clinton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The story should really end there, with a humiliated staffer out of her job, senator making the requisite clucking noises, political press snickering like naughty children, and the rest of us going on with our lives. It was like you were in the media.
Yeah, I mean,
But
again,
the rest of us, you work in news that covers like things like this.
Yeah, this is the United States Senate.
And
This is not some random thing. Like, it's not like two senators got caught, or not two senators, like two staffers were made a video outside. Like, the fact is, like, it's on the property and the video got out.
Well, that was another one. There was the one girl that had OnlyFans, and they were like, she was outed for her things. It was like someone running for Congress that's like a prostitute.
Yeah, you're like, you have an OnlyFans. It's like a public thing.
Instead, some apparently very sensitive members of Congress.
Yeah, that's how they go. Oh, you prudes. I love how that CNN's trying to be like, oh, a bunch of prudes.
Imagine that. Like,
And I honestly, I agree. That's the thing is like you to a degree, I do agree, but it's just the problem is just like, well,
you got booked doing it.
Yeah, well, not even that, but you're like, the problem with CNN is you're like, yeah, well, you make a whole stink out of all this other stuff, so then why should you just ignore this? It makes you seem like you're a bunch of fucking hacks, which they are.
Well, it kind of always boils down to the that conversation where when you're talking about like what jokes should be made or whatever, and they're like, well, you shouldn't be able to do this. And it was like, no, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to laugh at the things. I'm laughing at both.
Yeah, of course.
If two Republicans get caught, if like a Republican gets caught, you know, getting given head with like all these sex toys in the Senate floor, funny. And it's not funny. You know, you don't get to be like, it's funny when they do it, not funny when we do it.
Obviously, yeah.
It's funny in both.
It's so weird too, because CNN is legitimately, at least on their TV broadcast, they're trying to course correct so hard back to like the center. So then,
But this isn't funny.
But yeah. So it's I'm actually surprised that they took this kind of
Instead, some very apparently sensitive Congress members. Would you ever do that? Walk into a restaurant, there's just someone getting railed on your table, and you're like, let's go to another place. You go, I didn't realize I was with a snowflake.
Oh, can we grab a bucket? This snowflake's melting. Oh, God, come on. I just don't want to watch some fucking shit everywhere.
Is it possible to not? Is it possible to not eat dinner with a dude's ass getting just fucking pulverized? Is that fun? You're like eating dinner, just like bumping up against your head. Oh, I'm sorry, we got a snowflake here. Snowflake alert.
You remember that SNL sketch from like the 90s with Adam Sandler, the Italian restaurant with Kirstie Alley, and she's getting like banged on the table by the waiters? Classic sketch.
Yeah, that was good shit.
Yeah.
I was like, is that some sort of problem? Yeah. Snowflake alert.
Can't win.
Some sensitive Congress members have inserted themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, they have it. I'll tell you who has inserted themselves into the story and seem to be trying to keep it going as long as possible. It was 4 days ago.
Yeah, I know.
It was 4 days ago, and this woman wrote, not her specifically, but CNN wrote 15 articles about Lauren Boebert.
Like, there's wars going on. Is this important?
Oh, there's a war going on.
Oh, yeah. A war for this country's soul.
Oh, there's a war on fucking assholes being intact.
Oh, yeah.
Going on in the Senate.
Hey, man. You think he was on drugs? Maybe that'll be the next shooter drop. Poppers everywhere. Empty poppers everywhere.
Well, obviously these two dudes were like, we could probably get away with.
Yeah, they probably thought it was just like a hot thing to.
You just got busted, dude.
Well, you made a videotape of the crime
Well,
and
that's
then
insane.
released it.
Yeah, they're making the well.
Yeah.
I guess making a videotape of the crime's not that nuts because you would be like, this
Oh, well, I guess releasing it. Yeah,
releasing.
Yeah, that was like
a lot of releasing going on.
Yeah. That's kind of where you.
The American right has long attempted to restrict sexual health. Okay, now they're going. Now they're like saying the right is trying to clamp down on sexuality, and it was like, well, I mean, if you're gonna pick a battle with the right and be like, these people are trying to make sexuality like taboo, it was like, this isn't your battle to pick.
No. Let this one go. Yeah.
This isn't definitely not your battle to pick,
No.
And emphasize abstinence until married. Now, some conservatives are limiting discussions on sexual orientation and identity in schools and banning abortion. It's a slippery slope. First, we can't have sex on Congress floor with bondage outfits. Next thing you know, I can't have bone before marriage.
I love how CNN fit all these things in this article. They're talking about abortion. You're like, what are we talking about abortion here?
Two gay dudes.
It's like two gay dudes made a fucking video banging it out on the Senate floor. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
This is the story. They're like, well, it's abortion and...
How would you possibly squeak abortion in there? And forcing women to risk their lives and health in pregnancy and trying to make contraception harder to access.
Yeah.
And that all starts with chuckling at two gay guys on the Senate floor.
Yeah, if that was just nothing, then we could move on to the serious stuff.
Do you think she started with she wrote two guys boning in the center of a whiteboard, and then she sort of has place cards with stickers on them that say like abortion, women's health, women's reproduction rights, and then she sort of does like a Charlie Day trying to get them into a okay, she goes, no, conservatives don't like the guys boning on the Senate floor, conservatives also don't like abortion, so if we could probably put those two together, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think there would be this much outrage if it was two chicks scissoring?
No.
A video of two chicks scissoring on the Senate.
Scissoring, yes.
Two chicks scissoring on the Senate
yes.
floor.
Two chicks like making out.
No, not making out. Two chicks scissoring. Senate floor. Like, you think Fox News would be like, and CNN was like, we must defend the right to scissor.
I think
just
what would
two
happen
women showing love to each other.
Is the guy from the news would just come on and be like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special reporting on what happened in the Senator floor, and I want to say on behalf of this whole network, reporting back. And that'll be it for tonight, folks.
They have
over in the weather.
They cut to like a reporter. He's like on the Senate floor. He goes, I'm in the building currently. I'm smelling the surface. Smells quite nice, actually. I am a little aroused. There's some pheromones in there. And back to you, Tim.
We just got wind of the videotapes. Going to take those in the bathroom, do a full inspection on the phone. And I also just want to corroborate the auga. And oh yeah, what are people seeing on the ground floors? I'm seeing a lot of augas. I'm seeing a lot of
Dude, there'd be like, if it was two chicks scissoring, there'd be like fucking 400 news. Like, when there's a school shooting and they're all like out front of the school like an hour like later or whatever, they'd be all inside, just black lights, everything off, just doing the full like. I think this is something. It's mustard.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of out here tonight, and
yeah, you got to defend those ladies' rights to scissor.
And there is a lot of people are saying noise, and we are
a lot of high fives down on the Senate floor right now.
A lot of high five and a lot of propses. People are giving themselves elaborate handshake. The boys are in full effect tonight.
Maybe that could bring the right and the left together, as if it was a right wing, left wing, two chicks scissoring, and then everybody just comes
heal the world,
make it a better place.
That's, I think, what would happen.
Probably.
You just have Lauren Boebert scissoring as Alexander Ocasio. Vortex.
Oh, buddy, that would cure everything.
Everything's cured. A Senate sex tape scandal isn't about top-down failures or vigorous homophobia. Isn't about top-down failures or vigorous homophobia or misdeeds meriting a probe. Oh, there's a fucking probe.
There we go.
I was waiting for something. How is it? Homophobia.
Yeah, what's the homophobia element? There's just two gay men. Oh, they're saying because this would be not a story if it wasn't two gay men.
Dude, the guy was wearing like bondage outfit in the vid.
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
That's not funny to you? That is like,
Yeah.
I used to have a joke a bit
Probably
ago,
wearing like a dog mask,
but
or
it was
something.
based on a real thing where I was saying that there was like this really huge gay dude that was like jacked or whatever, and the girl, and we were like, pretty funny that guy's gay, and the girl was like, how is that funny? And we're just like, your brain's that broken, huh? That you can't see like a 7 foot tall like bodybuilder, and also that he's like,
Gay.
then also he's like randomly gay. That's not, you don't get why that's funny.
Yeah.
Like what was the, I had a line.
I remember that.
You remember that? I was like, I like
premise. I don't remember exactly.
I like something and something. Do you remember what it was?
I don't remember.
Yeah, fuck.
My
What was
my
it?
brain's a sieve for jokes.
I like chopsticks and dude sticks. Fuck. Anyway, I can't remember.
That's a good placeholder for now.
It was something like that, though.
Subscribe to the Patreon. We'll have it for you there.
I don't know if I will, man. It might be gone forever.
It's got to be in the voice notes somewhere.
It's probably written down.
Can't really
somewhere.
search voice notes though.
No, it's probably written down somewhere. But yeah, the bottom line, it was like being like, what's funny about a 9 foot tall man pounding a little twink? There was this one video that there was this dude when we were in Toronto. He was like a little twink dude that was kind of like in the like party scene or whatever. I think it was Knights' buddy.
Okay.
And he's like, I remember one time we all walked in and there was just like guy's probably like 4'7", like Asian guy, and he was just sitting on the biggest, blackest guy's lap that you've ever seen in your life. Because it was over by where Hayden's bar is. That bar used to it was a normal bar, but then at like 11, like one
on
night a
Ossington
week,
in
it would
Toronto,
turn into a gay bar. Do you
Okay.
remember that?
Yeah.
So you'd be kind of just at like another bar, and it would just be like, and then like
the
you just
disco ball drop.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what's
It would just be
going
like
on
one
here?
night a week. It would be a gay bar, and I remember just looking up, and then like 3 people would be like, take a peek that way, and you just look, and it would just legitimately like the guy from the Green Mile with Ken Jeong just sitting on his lap, right?
And then Ryan would be like, I'll be right back.
And then this CNN reporter would look over there and be like, I didn't see it. Is there something I should be seeing?
Yeah, what? Is there something going on here that's newsworthy?
Never seen that. I don't know. I'm not getting it. I just saw fucking Kobayashi sitting on Shaq's lap, and nothing's funny about that.
About to eat a lot of hot dogs, too. Kobayashi's about to break some records, if you know what I mean.
Do you think he would still do that if he was gay? Like he would take the thing and then he would have to eat a bit of the bun?
That's actually, they're leaving, man, imagine the crossover if there was if the hot dog eating champion was gay. It was like a super gay dude. Like he could have like a whole makeup line and stuff. Like they could really make some crazy coin.
The hot dog eating competition guy being gay is really funny.
Just the gayest flaming gay guy.
And then, so this is his apology. Well, many of my actions in the past have shown poor judgment. I love my job, would never disrespect my workplace. So he was He was actually honoring it.
Oh, okay.
He was honoring it. He was doing sort of like that's like a land acknowledgement, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Acknowledging the diversity. Any attempts to characterize my actions, otherwise they're fabricated, and I will be exploring what legal options are available to me. What are legal options? I think you just take you go, okay, obviously I'm not going to keep the job.
You're not gonna keep
Obviously
a job.
the job's done.
I mean, surely if you were straight, if it was a straight scenario, those two people would be like, yeah, I guess that was dumb. We're
If you had
out of
any
work.
brains, you're some gay dude. It's like, now you start an OnlyFans. Just put the
Yeah,
sex
but you're
tape
like,
there.
you're like, I mean, anybody in that position would be out of work. I don't think they're trying to claim, if I was straight, if this was straight sex and we put out a video in the Senate,
You'd
whatever.
probably lose your job, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of bare minimum right there.
But
you're not
also
even
the thing is,
senators.
you
You're
have
not
to
senators that need to get voted out. You're just staffers.
This is the part you have to remember, though. It's not just two guys boning. It was like he's wearing the gear and shit.
Yeah.
It's like if Ted Cruz got caught having sex with his wife there, right?
Yeah.
It would obviously be hilarious. If he had a fucking bondage outfit on, like, can you imagine? Like, no one would ever stop talking about that.
You're never coming back from that.
Dude, if Eric Trump got caught
Not Eric.
with any sort of gear involved,
Yeah.
makes it 10 times funnier.
Yeah.
Look, imagine friggin' Chris Christie gets caught with a belt around his neck.
Or like Vito, Chris Christie gets caught like Vito from fucking The Sopranos. You know, he goes, "Oh, it's just a joke." Just a joke. He's all full leather daddy outfit at a gay bar. What? It's just a joke. It's a joke.
Christy gets caught just getting turned into his favorite thing, a Twinkie.
Ew.
It's time to talk about getting jacked. Listen,
Lightweight.
I've been in the gym. Even when I went back to Toronto, I hit the gym all the days in the hotel gym, and it wasn't actually a good gym, so Fitbod was more useful than ever. Finding out ideas. I actually had the bench pulled up, and I was using...
Doing dips on the bench?
No, I had the bench pulled up, and I was doing stuff with the cords.
The cables.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the cable machines. Oh, yeah, I get in the cables a lot.
Exactly. But I wouldn't have kind of thought to do it the way that it was. Anyways, it doesn't matter. If you want a regimen that can keep you on your toes, check out Fitbod, the app that creates a personalized workout regimen that adapts to you, keeps you on track, takes your goals, fitness levels, and even what equipment you have into account so you can keep your regimen fresh, make consistent progress through the new year and beyond. And that's the biggest part about it, is it keeps it, gives you lots of new things so it doesn't get boring. You keep tracks of your stuff very easily.
I was doing it yesterday. I was doing this one, speaking of the machines, I was doing these cable pull-throughs, which you never think to do for a leg exercise.
What's that
Where
one?
it's you do like the ropes and then through the cable machine and then you pull them through your leg.
Yeah, you don't
and then
think
you're
to
doing
do
these
that kind of
lunges and
stuff.
stuff, and I'm like, they're pretty good. Pretty good leg exercise.
Creates custom workouts based on your goals, experience, available equipment, and Fitbod's powerful technology understands your strength training ability, studies your past workouts, and adapts to your available gym equipment. This app keeps your gym sessions fresh and fun by mixing up your workouts and new exercises, rep schemes, supersets, and circuits. So learn new movements the right way with over 1,000 exercise demonstration videos. Download Fitbod today and get a head start on your fitness resolutions. Get 25% off your subscription and 3 free personalized workouts when you go to fitbod.me/boyscast. That is 25% off and free personalized workouts at fitbod.me/boyscast. Now, there is one thing that I do every single day, because not every day do I have a coffee, but every single day I have AG1. You just mix it up. It tastes great.
Right with the coffee.
Right with the coffee, but even if I don't have coffee, because for example, when I was on tour this week, I brought the travel packs and I didn't have coffee, but
true.
I was still mixing
Still got the travel packs.
the AG1. I had to bring a water bottle, the AG1. I'm good to go.
Absolutely.
I'm getting healthy, keeping yourself from being sick. You can feel a real difference in your daily health. You have energy. I personally notice that you're more relaxed and focused, and that's because AG1 is a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs. Also, Jarek said I got him on AG1, and he's been liking it.
Nice.
And like gut optimization, stress management, immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. Not only did I replace my multivitamins with AG1, which I actually did, I got multivitamins just sit in the back of the cabinet, and they'll be sitting there for a while, but I love that every scoop also includes prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, zinc, vitamin C,
Vitamin C, yeah.
right?
Yep.
Especially this time of year. So I recommend it to everyone. If you haven't started drinking AG1, you are missing out. AG1 is a supplement I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I've been a partner for so long and the BOYSCAST. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/boyscast. That is drinkag1.com/boyscast and check it out. And listen, obviously there's some bits of like Republicans getting trolled. Like, I don't know if you've seen a lot of right-wing Twitter, or I'd say Christian conservative Twitter is trying to get puffed up about things. You know what I mean?
Of course.
They see like
They're the originators of
they were getting real sauced up about the fact that every year that the devil worship club or whatever, they're always gonna try to put devils everywhere.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like they just take the bait, you know? They'll just be like, oh. And then people post stuff like they go, we have 2 options. We either become a Christian conservative society or we become, basically the devil's society.
Yeah.
You're like, there's probably some other options in there.
Yeah, there's probably some in between. I love it.
Nope.
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 No, they don't like that devil. That pesky devil.
You always see that Pearl girl posting like, this is not acceptable for married women to wear.
Yeah.
Which obviously, that's been one of my most ones that I always disagree with, because I'm like, no, I like girls that I'm dating with looking hot.
Yeah.
I hate if they start to look, no, I just want to look like a mom. I go, no.
No, yeah, that's not.
No, thanks.
Yeah, I agree.
No, thank you.
No, let's jazz it up a little bit.
Also, I was thinking a little bit, there's two parts. One is, there's a lot of people that be like, they kind of post these like city girls and kind of be like, oh, she'll never find like a man or whatever after that. And it was like, it's almost like they want that to be true.
Yeah.
But like, and there is
Pearl's an idiot.
No, I'm not just saying her though. I'm saying like everyone. I'm saying sort of the Christian conservative thing. A lot of times it's like a girl that like boned 30 guys or whatever, and they'll be like, she's like a party girl.
Yeah.
And she wasted her life doing this. She'll never find a guy. It's like, and obviously there's some truth to that, but like, I know a million chicks, and the bottom line is they never mention like, how hot is she?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, if you're a 6 out of 10 and you spent your fucking 20s being a slut, and now you're 30 and like kind of gross, and you lost the last little bit of your youth, and you're not hot in general, and now you're yes.
Yeah.
But if you're like an 8 out of 10, which I know a million of those girls, like those girls are like married now.
Yeah, they all get married
to like a rich dude, by the way.
Yeah, they all get picked off. Yeah, they do just fine.
Yeah.
It's the lies they have to tell themselves.
Yeah, there has to be a little bit.
And even that 30-year-old
it's like
girl
a pretending
is still
thing.
fine. There's still someone for her. They're still gonna find someone. Someone might be like, "Hey, can you just like maybe tone it down a bit?"
The real defining factor is they don't get girls. But no. But if the girl's like 32 now, and then she's still at the club every night, and then she's not finding someone, it was like, well, yeah, you haven't stopped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's like if they stop it down, it's like they'll get scooped up as long as they're decent looking.
Yeah. And maybe even if they're not that decent looking, they still might.
Well, no, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say that.
But if you're decent looking, you're getting picked off.
It's kind of like with dudes where
if
a guy's like successful and they can be like, oh, he's a misogynist or he's this or he's a dick. If a guy's like successful, like decent looking, it was like, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine, yeah.
I promise you that guy will be fine.
I mean, how many guys are with some chick who is really hot and they know they just know, they go, this is such a mistake. Just because she's so crazy or something. And
Yeah.
Like, they just know.
Crazy for sure.
Like they go like, this is such a mistake keeping this going, but she's just hot, so I'll just see.
And guys are sort of defensive specialists too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys operate their lives in just like reactionary. You know what I mean?
They're on the hands team. Yeah.
But they are though. You know what I mean? Like guys are, what they don't know how to do is, you know how it's just yards down the field?
Yeah.
They don't know how to get yards back the other way. All they know how to do is just sort of
hold them off.
Hold them off a little bit.
Yeah, just hold your territory.
So many guys live in the world of like, they never be able to go backwards.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you just sort of constantly like...
Yeah, you're not scoring any touchdowns.
No, we're not moving in together. You hold that off for a bit. I will not get married. You hold that one off for a bit. I'm not having a kid. I'm not having a dog. I'm not having. And eventually, you just keep moving back to them on the field till eventually you're just lying in the end zone in a pool of your own vomit.
Accurate. Yeah.
But the guys don't know how to play offense on like actually backing things up.
Yeah, it's tough.
What is tough, and they're relentless too, right? Because the thing is, you defend, and then you take a break to look at your watch, and then you just lost the yard. You go,
and if you tackle them too hard, they call the police on you.
You go, listen, I'm gonna take a sip of Gatorade here. You just lost the yard. It's a full-time event.
Fucking referee comes out, throws a penalty, flag on the play for. I didn't even do anything. Oh, that's 5 yards.
That's 5 yards, pal. Yeah. You started on the end of the football field. Next thing you know, you're behind the school. You're in the fucking. You're at the edge.
You're in the parking lot.
You're at the edge of the parking lot doing one of the balancing acts, trying to not fall off the curb into the pit.
Trying to get a hot dog from a tailgater, and they go, "We don't serve your kind here, sir." You go, God damn.
That's how many yards you lost. You start at the front of the field, end of the night. You're 3 years retired. Just 3 towns over. You can't get a sponsorship deal to save your life.
Nothing. No. Dried up.
Working, now you're working at the smaller field as a groundskeeper.
You're a referee now. Yeah, you've moved on to ref.
Yeah, so, and then all you can do, what I was kind of thinking about? And we'll talk about the Trump thing. In the context of like political people, and we were I think a lot of people sort of resonated with what we said a couple weeks ago that one of the problems with like being, too hyper political is it means you stopped growing,
Yeah.
And I was kind of saying that, but I was kind of noticing, especially online, a good way to put it is anyone that's like really, really, political for a movement, a lot of times it basically makes you like a wife for that movement.
Yeah.
Like if you think of like someone like,
or like cheerleader kind of.
yeah, cheerleader I'm going more wife, because cheerleader, I feel like cheers it on, but might if the times get wife. I'm thinking more like a mob wife where it could do no wrong.
Oh, okay.
Cheerleader might like if they watch the team, beat up a girl, they might go, I'm out.
Yeah.
Whereas like mob wife,
Yeah,
you become like a mob wife for your movement. Like every blogger is like a mob wife for liberalism.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that are like mob wives for Trump, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
of course.
mob wives for
Blind,
Christian,
yeah, they're
or
just
mob
blind.
wives for the church, you know what I mean? Where it'll be
Yeah,
like,
of course.
all they can do is like
Blindly tribal, essentially.
blindly tribal, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I think what I'm saying maybe doesn't seem like there's any more point, but I think the underlying thing that I'm saying is it makes dudes become chicks.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you basically have a dude that's kind of like turns him into
Finger wagging.
it turns you into like a woman, you know what I mean? Because when you become like a wife for something, you become like no, he didn't. Like it's like a very like feminine
very
thing to be.
reflective or not reflexive. Sorry, kind of being like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so that I think my point was it turns some dudes into like you can watch like certain like Christian conservative dudes the way that they are for that movement. It was like, yeah, you're acting like a chick.
Yeah.
But like a chick that's like madly in love, you know what I mean? And
With Jesus.
he would never do that to anyone. I didn't see him do anything wrong.
Yeah. I mean, politicians have that a lot.
Of course, right?
Seeing that
And you
for
have to,
Trudeau,
of course,
seeing
right?
that for Trudeau still is really weird. Because if you go on,
Totally.
if you go on Twitter, like you see people who are so like, I'm a liberal, I'm part of the Liberal Party, even though it's falling apart completely. Like apparently, there's like a 1% of the entire country who signed a petition to get Trudeau out of office.
Yeah, I saw a lot of
or like
people.
more than that or something at this point. It's like over 400,000 people.
Well, a lot of people that I know that are in his like orbit, because I know a lot of people that are kind of high up in the Canadian government, this and that, or lobbyists or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, everyone thinks it's that he's like just like super liberal and all this stuff, but it's more his problem is he thinks he's smarter than everyone.
Yeah.
Like and people that know him personally and are like involved in these decisions, a bit what they all say, not on like they don't have any like political agenda. They're just like saying as a guy, like the president's like a
Yeah.
hard job, right?
Yeah, of course.
And they're saying his problem is he legitimately thinks he's smarter than everyone, so he won't listen to anyone. He's like a dictator, like a mini dictator.
Yeah.
And he really believes like people don't get it. I'm so much smarter than everyone. So it's like he has like delusions of grandeur, and that's why he's so. That's like his big problem. What everyone that works with him says.
Oh, I believe it. But if you see,
Yeah,
if
that's
you go
what
on
makes
Twitter, you'll see people coming to his defense, because like they're polling so badly and all this stuff, and then you'll just if you go kind of like
I know what you mean. Yeah.
dig into Twitter, and some people are like, yeah, he's still Trudeau, I'm voting Trudeau, he's the best, like all that stuff, and you're like, still. You're like, you can't just be like, but they don't want to cede any ground politically.
Well, you can't. Yeah.
So then they have to keep going and be like, yeah, this guy's the best.
Right, and that's like very, like what a chick, like
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
of course, that's the
where it's
same.
like obviously this doesn't make sense, but you're still sticking with it.
Yeah, those.
And then, but also it becomes a chick because it's like it's almost like they would be, and then the only time they switch is when they find like a new guy that's that. Like they find, you know what I mean? Like if you were like, I really was like all in on Trump, and then it's like now it's a Santos, or I was all in on this, and now I found this. It's like, well, I used to like him, now I have a new boyfriend who's like the bigger mobster in town.
You're the little girl, like teenage girl with her like she took down her Ed Sheeran posters and she put up like Shawn Mendes posters, So I'm over Ed Sheeran.
But like
Mendes.
it's like we're kidding, but it's not even that like it's not even. It's like a direct analogy.
Yeah, I mean, people's brains are a little hardwired to just behave that way. It's almost unnatural for some people to not act that way.
Yeah, that's true. But I think you could also agree with me that that's more feminine hardwiring than masculine hardwired.
I agree.
So if you're a dude and you find yourself being like hardwired that hard,
Well, dudes
that's
are
like a
hardwired
fucking-
that hard for sports. You see that with sports teams, like where someone will like go kill a man at a fucking football game over like a sports dispute. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, I don't know, maybe more testosterone kind of flying around there or whatever. But yeah,
That one's a little more. a little less, in my opinion, because you don't have a choice generally where you're from.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, it's like-
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you almost like don't have. It's not like you made your pick and you can switch. It was just like you were born there and that's the team.
That's
and
the team, yeah.
it's everyone's team, so there's a little less.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in America, though. People
I do get that, yeah.
killed at sporting events.
I'm like that with Toronto a little bit. Well, I'll defend Toronto.
Yeah,
people.
for sure.
And
Yeah.
people will be like, "Oh, Toronto shit," and I'm like, "You're wrong. It's sick."
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a great city.
Toronto rules. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if we ever talked about this before, but the 50-year-old transgender woman who's like swimming with 13-year-old girls.
I saw it, but I
Orangeville
didn't put it in our thing because I thought that sometimes there's just so many of them and we go a little.
This one is
it's like
yeah,
if you cover every single one of those, you're gonna be talking about trans stuff nonstop,
I know,
even though
I know.
they are hilarious.
It's so crazy.
Dude, the amount of times I'm like have trans stuff on my agenda, and I'm like, we can't just fucking too much.
I know
trans
you can't
stuff.
talk about it all the time. This one was like so specifically wacky Canadian because right when I was back, and then did you try and see the news? Were you banned from watching the news on Instagram?
yeah.
Canada, isn't that so fucking crazy?
Not a serious country.
Not a serious country.
So what was the that one though?
It's just this like 50-year-old like trans woman, like, you know, biological male who's doing like a swim meets with 13-year-olds.
Which is nuts.
Mental. Like, I don't think, like, the thing is, like, I don't think a 50-year-old woman should be allowed to swim with 13-year-olds.
Well, why would you be?
Yeah, you shouldn't be. But then I guess, and I don't know what the rules are or whatever, but they literally are like, there's 50-year-old, whatever, male or female, but then it's in this instance, it is a biological male who's swimming against 13-year-olds. And then like some guy tried to go like, you know, and then they kick him out. You know, he gets trespassed for trying to be like, what's going on here? And everybody's like, totally normal. All right.
Do you see that Granny was one of the top porn categories?
I don't buy it.
It says number 7, so it wasn't that high, but they said there was a lot of people looking.
That's weird. For some reason, I still don't. I still feel that's. What was the number 1 category? Still just stepsisters?
I actually didn't look at that. I just saw the thing that I didn't really
Granny?
do that much investigation into that.
All right. Yeah, I did see that. That's nasty.
Let's talk Trump for a second.
All right.
Okay. So, Colorado Supreme Court disqualified Trump from the 2024
Yeah, this was
ballot.
last night.
This is last night. Breaking news. So, basically, what happened was, it really is, I mean, basically the gist of it was, we're going to prevent democracy to stop the ruining of democracy.
So he can't be on the Republican primary ballot, I believe, in the state of Colorado.
I was kind of thinking about doing a news thing about this, but it's basically like, it was like, we found out because of this law, and they've also said, if not because of this one, we will find another one. It really is.
Well, that's what's the famous like Russian thing? Show me the man, I'll show you the crime.
yeah.
Whatever, like
Show me the
Stalin
Trump.
or whatever. You go, just I'll
Show me the Trump, I'll show you the crime.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's exactly what's going on.
And
with
the
this.
stupid thing is you almost think they're trying to help him win when they do this stuff, because everybody knows this is bullshit. And then now, so what? There's going to be a protracted. They have to go to the.
Oh, there's a protracted in the Senate.
Yeah. But now they got to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has to decide on whether or not he's allowed to be on the ballot in Colorado. And
yeah, and so what happened was, this one's
2024 is going to be lit.
Ratified after the Civil War, the 14th Amendment says officials who take an oath to support the Constitution are banned from future office if they engaged in insurrection.
Okay.
So there's
It wasn't an insurrection though.
Well, you didn't. Yeah, like, so they literally found this word and they were just like, I think we could push this.
Yeah, we can push this.
But you're right. And I've said this before, but maybe not this exactly, but with this, because I agree with you that it's really adding up to being like, you can only push it so far where people are like, yo, you guys are fucking corrupt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, this is what they do in other countries that America has famously always made fun of and kind of thought that they were better than, you know, like, and I will say that with the January 6th thing specifically, that I like my opinion.
Do you know what
they reacted
this other insurrection in the Senate would be called?
What's that?
January Dicks.
Nice. But America famously is just so much better than these like banana republics, and I think America was very like the, you know, political ruling elite class was very embarrassed by January 6th. If anything, it wasn't an insurrection. I think they obviously call it that for political gain, but it was embarrassing for the country because this just was the type of thing that didn't happen in America. America was always like better than that.
Okay.
You know, so I guess they're trying to call this thing an insurrection, and it wasn't though. But then they're doing this stuff of 91 charges against Trump and this shit and this. I don't know. It's very
Well, it's kind of like, I think when it was really just Trump before, right? And they were trashing Trump, and they'd go, he said this and he didn't, like, and then they kind of pick this guy and this guy and this guy, and it was like, just imagine you were like in your normal life, right? Someone's like, oh, I fucking hate this guy, and you don't know him that well, and you're like, okay, right? Imagine someone was like, to me, goes, oh, Danny Polishuk, that guy's racist, and I was like, he's not. I already know that.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, well, now I know that you're lying.
Of course.
So be like, and they just did this over and over again where they were saying things that you could see with your own eyes. You know what I mean? People would be like, Andrew Tate said this, and you're like, I watched the clip. Like, I'm not
you didn't say
a
that.
mental patient. Like, I watched it. You watch it and you go, he was kidding. And they go, he said that the women could this, and you go, I was watching, he was making a joke.
He was making a joke.
I have eyes, and you have eyes. You watched it. So there was just too many people. It was so obvious that they were lying. And I think this stuff is really going to make people.
Well, Trump, they had that, like, I mean, you can't forget, they had 3 to 4 years of all the Russia collusion, all the stuff that they were saying about him that literally was on TV all day, every day.
Yeah.
It was dominated. Every single facet of your life was all the stuff he was doing, then all turned out to be bullshit. And it's hard to believe that people, that's not working against them now when they're trying all this stuff. But if they somehow manage to get Trump not allowed to run, I'm very curious what's going to happen.
Well, there's a bunch of people that when you kind of look at it, one way is like, are Democrats just better at politics than Republicans? You know what I mean? There's a part of it where you're just like,
seems like it.
Because you could be like, it's corrupt, and you're like, well, I guess all of them are kind of doing corrupt shit. Like, you watch House of Cards or a show like that, and you're like all doing this. You're like, so if that's the case, like, I don't know if I would think that the Republicans are like much better. So you go, are they just so much better at pulling bullshit?
I mean, Democrats seem like they are better at politics. Yeah. For sure.
Something like that, maybe. But yeah, there's this other part where I feel like to some degree it seems like it is getting like people ready for war. But if you combine this where you go, just anyone with their eyes can be like, obviously this is an abuse of, probably every regulatory body, right?
Yeah.
And then you go, Rudy Giuliani's just getting like wrecked in civil court. Elon Musk is like, they're just harassing that guy at this point, whether you like him or not. They got like the SEC going after him. They're taking his Starlink contracts away.
The deep state.
They're trying to like hit his Tesla credits and be like, these aren't like.
They did take away Tesla credits.
But that's what I'm. Sorry,
last weekend.
I said they're trying to, but yeah, you're right. They did.
Yeah.
But I was kind of saying, you can't look at that whole thing and then be like, you have to, because obviously at first people will be like, you want to be like, well, I don't know if he did the crime, then just like in Russia, you same thing. Well, if he was talking bad, the crime's a crime. But there is a point where I think any normal person is just like, all right, you are pushing it.
Yeah, of course. But again, the question is are they just going to do this in front of our faces, where they straight up say like, yeah, we are pushing it, and we're going to remove him? And
that's the question.
What are you going to do about it?
And I guess they're right. What are you going to do about it other than like get mad?
Everybody to, who has all the guns, I guess, to do something. The question is, people's lives are so comfortable here. It's not the type of thing where people are struggling for food and stuff like that. Like,
because there's a lot of people calling it out, but you're right. What are you going to do about it?
Well, you could form militias and everybody can grab all their guns and go do a real insurrection, I guess.
No, this is, if I'm being realistic.
But not going to happen.
This is why I always kind of like, the tech opinions more than the political opinions. Because a lot of times the political space is sort of like narrowly thinking. Uh-huh. But if you go, really what happens is like they are smart, the Democrats or whatever, and there's probably like some smart politicians in the Republican Party. Like there's probably a lot of smart people, maybe not the most smart, but not smarter than the Peter Thiels of the world. And it's like, or Elon Musk, like these people are just Bill Gates, whatever. Like I'm sure these people are just smarter, right?
Yeah.
So if some of these people are solving the problem, being like, okay, I think maybe what happens is there's so much money and brain power. So some of these other people enter the game being like, okay, let's play that game. How about this lawyer that's 10 times smarter than your lawyer? Like, I think.
Yeah. I guess it's a question of is the deep state kind of, how real is the deep state, the concept of that? And can they just say, hey, this guy can't, pull the strings and this guy can't be the president? And There's nothing you can do about it.
That is the question. Like, how real is it?
And they're not trying to. This isn't.
I mean, it already.
This isn't taking out Bernie Sanders in 2016 or whatever, where Bernie Sanders was going to be the candidate, and then they're kind of like, no, we want Hillary Clinton, and it's like that kind of behind the scenes shit. This is way more overt to say, hey, we're just throwing the book at Trump so that he can't run when he's for sure going to be the candidate. I mean, dude, the stuff. Maybe I'm out of touch. But when you see them running these polls, they're like, Nikki Haley is really challenging Trump. I'm like, no fucking way Nikki Haley is challenging Trump.
Yeah.
Like, where?
She's going to get the Hillary Clinton treatment until if she was the person, then she wouldn't anymore. But she's going to get the treatment. Was like, Nikki Haley looked stunning. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. I mean, everybody's like, oh, Nikki Haley's really on Trump's heels. I'm like, no, you want that to be the case.
Yeah, you'd like that.
So you're saying that, and maybe you found some.
It's like when JJ tells us someone that he likes, he goes, he fucking crushes. And you watch, he's like pretty mediocre comedian. Yeah. Fuck, he obliterated.
Yeah, you're like, no.
Pretty normal.
But it seems like they're trying to make, Nikki Haley happen. They want her to be the candidate, so then they're just going to will it into existence by saying, yeah, I mean, look, if you probably go on TV and start saying Nikki Haley's doing really well, some people probably like, oh shit, Nikki Haley's doing well. Maybe I should vote for her.
I know.
And then you could just make it happen. But it doesn't seem, I mean, I watched some of the debates. It doesn't seem like she's doing that great.
No, her own people don't like her, that's for sure. I think the other people on the other side probably like her more than her people do.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, anyways, it was pretty wild. I guess you will see what happens with all that stuff. But
we got a banger of a year coming up.
But I think that, you talk about like, they already, to some degree, you have to also win hearts and minds. You can't just be corrupt and unfair.
No.
You know what I mean? And I think that so many hearts and minds have like turned against all this shit. And, the fact that Twitter exists right now and people can actually say what's happening. Like,
there is an element, though, where sometimes they try
components taken down a little bit.
Yeah, they try and make people apathetic, though, and not vote at all, which sometimes
they confuse you.
They confuse you, and then you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not voting at all. And sometimes that's a win for them.
It does work.
Yeah.
You do get a little bit, like, fatigued.
Yeah, fatigued, and you're just like, you know what, fuck this. And you're just like, I'm not even voting. We'll see what happens. And then sometimes, depending on what side you're on, that is a win.
I know.
So,
did you see the thing Elon Musk also tweeted that because apparently it's not new, but Microsoft Word has an inclusivity feature.
I did not see. I saw the tweet.
I don't have Microsoft Word, so I couldn't get it, and we do use Mac, so I would have had to like download the whole suite and stuff like that because I really wanted to do it. But basically, it'll be stuff like you say mankind, and it'll be like, "Are you sure you want to say mankind?" But the one,
it's like that fucking paperclip pops up, being like, "Are you sure you want to say mankind? It's person kind." Fuck you, paperclip.
Yeah, can you imagine? I guess it's for people that work at some pussy ass job or whatever, but like that's so crazy to just like hire an AI snitch on yourself.
AI HR Karen.
Yeah, you hire Microsoft.
Are you sure you want to write that? You might get in trouble.
Well, the one he said insane, and then MS Word suggested an alternative due to its perceived implications, mental health bias. Are you sure you want to say insane? Microsoft, you hire a AI snitch to come scold you for the wrong words
while you're just typing up a little report.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great.
Yeah, that would. I'll tell you, I'm not going to be using that feature.
No.
So we had something that kind of we've been calling out for a while, but obviously, anytime I've broken record, but anytime these happen, we get tagged in it a million times because me and Danny are a meme at this point with the
woke race.
Yeah. But they go, Boston City Hall roiled by email party invitation for electoids of color sent to all. So she accidentally sent to
the whites,
buddy. That's sending the side piece, the text for the girlfriend, my friend, or vice versa.
You're scrambling.
That's not what you want, buddy.
But the difference is...
Sent the party invite to the wrong group chat, pal.
Yeah, they're so emboldened, though, because if you send the party invite to the wrong group chat, you go, fuck, well, I guess they're all coming to the party.
She can't have them come.
Like in a normal world, you go, oh, I guess they're all coming because I fucked that up. My bad. Then they send out a new one saying, oh, my mistake, you shouldn't have received that. You're not invited.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah, you're whites.
She accidentally sent the email to the whites that say, because as soon as the whites are, she probably talks like this, but as soon as the whites are there, she gets her, inflections going. She goes, listen, we want motherfucking champ tonight. No honky ass bitches at this party.
Look, you guys don't like collard greens.
You know what the funny, crazy thing is? White people are probably the most that would love a diversity party.
Yeah, I know.
If you're having a party to celebrate diversity, white chicks are your cardinal.
I know. And then you're forcing them to be like, I guess we'll do our own party, and then it's all white people. And you're like, this doesn't feel right.
Can't do that.
No.
What do you think that she tried to? Obviously, it's a dorky ass diversity party,
Yeah.
but do you think it was they go full black? Like when then finally they get to be themselves without the white people breathing down their neck. It's just everyone like grinding each other. And shit.
That was the Asian mayor of Boston.
The male HR guy's just like slapping asses and shit like that.
I can't imagine.
White guy walks in. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you accidentally sent a text and invited me to the party.
No, the white people are at work there. They're all like the serving hors d'oeuvres. They make sure that they go, can we hire like a white staffing agency?
It's Get Out, basically.
Yeah, it's Get Out or White Man's Burden. You ever see that movie?
No.
I wonder if that movie is going to make a big comeback. It was from the 90s. It was John Travolta and I think Harry Belafonte.
What happened?
And the whole premise of the movie is that races are fully reversed. So whites were slaves and blacks were in charge. So then it's like this dude in the 90s and he's just like hard up white guy. And like all the blacks are like super rich and all that stuff. And he's just like, you know, it's literally just the opposite.
Yeah.
It's called White Man's Burden. But I wonder if like with the current climate, if that movie's like, you know, that tomatometer or whatever, tomatometer on that has just been slowly climbing for some 30-year-old movie.
Someone actually sent me a funny thing that there's no way you'd ever make it, but the concept, I think it was on Patreon or whatever, but as the concept of like a white guy going black, painting himself black to prove how hard it is for black people to get jobs, and then you're not like they're like kicking you out, and you're like, this is what black people experience just because they see a white guy in blackface, and you're like, what?
White Like Me was the book.
I know. That's what made me think of it. White Like Me, but the White Like Me guy didn't paint his face. He gave himself injections, and it actually like made him turn black.
Oh, okay.
But we're just saying a guy in blackface had the job interview, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And you're like, "This is what they deal with every day."
What was that show, Black White? Did you ever see that? I think we've definitely referenced it. It was on like Spike TV in the 90s or maybe early 2000s.
We
for one
played
year.
a little video
We played
of
a
it
clip,
at one
and,
point.
and it's this family. It's a family swap, and this white family goes and does full blackface, nappy
my
hair
God,
stuff, and then he
crazy.
goes to the comedy club and he's dropping like N-bombs and stuff. He goes like to all black comedy. It's crazy. If you check it out, it's called Black White.
But that's what I'm thinking their party
Mental.
is. When that's what they wanted their party with no whites to be. They have like a Def Jam, basically Def Jam.
Def
You know what I mean? You know, y'all. I just want to make a speech here. Just want to say, you all know when those motherfucking white cracker ass coworkers be asking you questions. Yeah, that's what they wanted the party to be. Put your hands up if you be seeing Karen be coming through asking you questions.
She'd be pushing that mail cart, being like, "You got mail?"
She be pushing the mail cart, be like, just the Marlon Wayans special. You know, hey, who knows how we be creeping when we showing up 10 minutes late for work? We showing up like, whoop, 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 whoop. You all know we ain't be doing our own reports. Just fucking like straight up Def Jam comedy shit. Put your hands up. Hey, you telling me you ain't never takes a bit of someone's lunch? It just be sitting in the fridge looking at you like, eat me. And you know I ain't talking about no broccoli. So that's what they wanted to have, like a Def comedy jam.
Yeah,
at the workplace.
At the workplace for Christmas, a little Christmas Def comedy jam.
She's Asian. On behalf of the mayor, Asians love when they get included in the diversity too.
yeah.
Because they're like white chicks on crack, right? They're like, they do better than white chicks and they get the benefits too. They're fucking cruising.
Yeah, she's literally the mayor.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
she's top of the heap.
It's a motherfucking mayor in the building. Definitely. When I say mayor, y'all say woo, mayor, woo,
Mayor.
She goes, we be here, we the Wu-Tang Clan. That's what she says. She says we have the Wu Clan playing, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, Wu-Tang Clan. It's just her and her family doing karaoke.
Yeah, I mean,
On behalf of the mayor, mistakenly sent all Boston City councilors an email Tuesday inviting them to the holiday party that was meant exclusively for electeds of color.
electeds of color. Nice.
Electeds of color. Asians getting in on the diversity is. I'll tell you what. That's those days are numbered, pal.
Yeah.
You better enjoy it. Woo.
Well, as long as she's the mayor, she sets the rules, you know?
I know.
She defines what a diverse person is.
That's true. You are right, but they get flack, though.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. Like, again, there's people below her who are of darker complexion who are planning some mutiny at some point.
Of course. They're trying to have their own party.
Yeah, they're going to get her out eventually. They're going to be top spot, and then they're going to be like, yeah, no Asians. Nice try.
Yeah, Asians their days are numbered being counted as a diversity.
Yeah.
Approximately 15 minutes later, Dos Santos is the guy's name, sent out a follow-up email to city councilors apologizing for the prior email, which is apparently meant for those who were invited. The body includes several white councilors and 6 of color. So they only have 15 people and they didn't invite 7 of them.
All right.
Electoids of color is really good. But, so on this sort of same topic, because we've been obviously talking about how there's no better job in the world to be like a diversity counselor or whatever.
Well,
right?
there was no better job.
Obviously, they're not making as much money
The tide's turning on that.
Well, I told you, I knew a buddy that literally they offer both things. So they would a guy we know that works in tech, his wife worked in an agency that did training.
Yeah.
And then basically they would go to training and the places would get these articles written about them and they'd have to be like, we have no choice but to hire a diversity counselor.
Literal extortion.
So there's so much demand for it. But in this specific case, they was like, it was like you run a car lot and everyone comes in and says you want Teslas and eventually you just have to start selling Teslas. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they had no choice. But a former global diversity strategist at Facebook pleaded guilty to wire fraud after stealing more than $4 million from the social media giant to fund a lavish lifestyle in California. So this guy was cooking for a while,
I think it was a
right?
chick, actually.
Well, it's a husband wife.
Oh, this is a team.
No, this is the one that Bill Ackman was calling out.
Oh, okay. They have these.
You've been following the Bill Ackman stuff, right?
Of course, with the Harvard.
So Bill Ackman posted like a huge thing explaining this whole one.
Oh, I don't know.
And essentially, there's all these kind of like wishy-washy things. Like they essentially operate as a nonprofit, and then the nonprofit can write stuff off, and then the nonprofit hires some other business for way too much money, and that other business just gets $100,000 a year, and it just goes to the wife.
Yeah, it's like a shell
It's
company.
a shell company that has one employee, the CEO, which makes $100,000 a year, and that money's written off, and you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like it's like this one big scheme, right?
The whole thing is a scheme.
Well, that's funny because they were getting charged with stealing, but
this chick,
their business model is stealing.
It's stealing. Yeah. But they go, it's legal stealing. It's the classic. They just kind of pushed it, you know.
Well, that's what Bill Ackman said. Well, you were just saying you're right because Bill Ackman was like, it is an extortion racket.
Oh, that's big time.
Because he goes, there's actually companies they write an article about how you're not diverse enough, and then show up and be like, we can make this go away.
Yeah, we can write an article about how you're so diverse.
Exactly.
But it's up to you. They just give you 2 articles. You go, which one would you like representing your company?
And it's crazy to like joke about, but that was actually happening.
For sure. Oh.
I mean, that happened in comedy. There was those pages and articles that were like, hey, these shows are getting blasted because they don't have women on it. And they're like, hey, listen, pretty easy solution. Put me on the show.
Yeah, put me on the show, even though I'm not good. And they go,
problem solved. And then you put them on the show and then they go, actually, this is a hub for diversity. And then you go, woo.
this is a hub for diversity and bombing. What a hub it is.
All comedy diversity has the easiest fix in the world.
Oh.
Black male comics.
Yep.
It's like literally black male comics are fucking probably the highest rate of
Black MALE. You're not blackmailing comics.
Yeah. Well, black dudes are hilarious.
Yeah,
so it's like, I mean, that's the oldest trick in the book. They're like, hey, you don't have enough diversity on your show. It's like, okay, I have a bunch of black guys because they're all hilarious.
Yep. Problem solved.
But then they go, you know, we don't want that.
No, that's not the type of diversity they want.
Not that one.
They want gender diversity.
So she led various Facebook diversity, equity, and inclusion programs from 2017 to 2021, stole the money through an elaborate scheme involving fraudulent vendors, fictitious charges. Fictitious charges are probably hilarious if you get to get your eyeballs on some of those.
Crazy.
Think what would the fictitious charges would be like?
Racism training, new slur training.
Yeah, I would just be like the most made up, like in intricate cognitive bias training. And I also trained you in intricately, so it's like, and I did it without you knowing. You don't realize You don't even realize. And cash kickbacks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of. I mean, again, it's
Dude, some of
there's
those-
no real businesses.
some of those diverse-
There's no value creation with these things. There's just the most nebulous, like, fake thing.
Who was the black guy who was like the big drug dealer? He has like the Netflix documentary. I think Denzel played him.
Freeway Rick Ross.
No, it wasn't him. It was a different guy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the guy who.
Well, he basically he screwed up because he went to the. No one knew who he was. Then he went to the boxing match wearing the big mink coat, right?
Yeah.
And in the movie, who knows what's true? But his girlfriend like gave it to him, so his girlfriend sort of like fucked him over a little bit by making him be peacock too much, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that some of these
It was
diversity?
the Harlem guy. What was it? Frank Lucas. Right, yeah.
Some of these diversity trainers were just like showing up with just like fucking 9 Rolexes on their arm.
For sure. It's like Goodfellas. It's like, what I tell you about wearing all that shit? Take it back.
This guy's wife was showing up to the seminar in like a Mercedes decked out Benz.
The crazy thing is they probably were making $200,000 a year. It just was not enough for them. Like, they legitimately could have probably billed and made $200,000 a year for all their bullshit. And they're like, you know what? It's like Meta. We could just keep it going. What are they going to do?
You didn't have to go extra
You
hard.
didn't have to go steal $4 million.
Yeah.
So greedy.
Okay, we have. We're going to talk a little bit more of this. There's 3 ways men can advance gender equity at work. We're going to talk about that on the Patreon and see
maybe
if,
figure out
if we're good or not. What was my joke?
The joke that you were trying to get to the bottom of with the huge gay guy. Remember the huge?
I
gay
do.
guy?
I almost got it.
Yeah, almost got. Oh,
I like head butts and dudes butts.
there you go. Hey!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Fuck, sometimes you just need to step away from
sometimes
it.
you just need to
Anyways,
fucking-
there was a bunch more of those kind of puns. The joke never really made it into the act. It was always sitting on the sidelines.
Still time.
But patreon.com/theboyscast. We do bonus content every week, bonus episode every week. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing. This has been the biggest year of growth for the Boyscast. There might actually be another podcast before New Year's, so I should probably stop talking about this because
Yes.
it's only the 20th right now.
Yeah, there'll be one on the 29th.
Ooh, well then, maybe we'll do some sort of year in review. I feel like the last 2 years I've decided I was going to do a year in review, and then I sat there and I was like, what does that even mean?
What about a
We
urine
pick our-
review? And then we try different types of urines.
Urine review. That's actually funny.
I'm here for the urine review.
You're a urine review.
But no, it's a year review. It's like sommeliers.
I thought I didn't like it, but then once I got it, I did.
Took a little minute. Took a second to hit.
Oh, this is a urine review. All right. I like it.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/theboyscast. Thank you, everyone. Peace.
Later.